Good on. How is everyone today? I hope you've had a good week since our last webinar. My question is if you are now hearing me, which is a good thing. So I have a few more joining us in a moment. And I believe that we have now got to webinar number 5. It's have gone in a flash. You know, those of you listening in are actually getting some good information coming webinars. And if we're actually hearing, get some feedback. Because feedback is always excellent. So this is me, and those of you on here already know me. So I will going to be looking at deadly sin number 6. We'll touch on blended learning, and during the crown is Pearl of Wisdom number 5. Look a bit on the purpose of the webinars. I would encourage anyone who has any further questions to contact Pearlcatchers, and the contact details are on the final slide. And just touch on blended learning is because we're going to cover blending far more detail on the future webinars, so I spoil any fun there. Just light touch. Okay. Webinars. Each of our webinars is designed to help you to take process for outcomes for the organisation, the interventions that you want to find and achieve, and or learner themselves, what they need, what are they looking for. It would be a partnership from the manager's organisation. Any needs analysis comes in, and it's so important to actually undertake to make one a win-win situation. Sin number 6. It's WYSI technology. We've seen lots of different WYSI technology bits and pieces. Some better than others. Some that in one of the earlier webinars I spoke about where maybe the trainer wasn't in the field that they were expert in. And I like to practice what I preach. Is 40. So I find colleague Chaz to be online today because he really is all about WYSI technology, and I'd far rather you had the experience of a master as opposed to a novice like me. I'm going to actually ask Chaz to come in, and Chaz is a fellow associate consultant and trainer with Pearlcatchers. He seems to like to work with. I'm really pleased to call him a friend as well. And I know you're going to enjoy everything to have to say. So,
Hi folks, hope everybody's well and enjoying this wonderful afternoon. I don't know about you, but where I am, it is absolutely glorious. My background, just so that you get it, I'm involved in the software industry for probably the last 20-25 years. So when it comes to technology, I've seen quite a bit and I've used quite a bit. So if I could you to just change the slide for me, please.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. too much fun? Did you enjoy it? Now, it's that sort of play with software and games and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I was taught at a very early software development career was something we covered in one of, I think it was last week's webinar, Keep It Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you want to keep it simple is twofold. First of all, if it's in people, they'll be able to follow you up and carry and continue your work. It's the same for any facilitator. If you want to develop a technological product for learners, then you want to keep it simple as possible. Second reason, and probably the most important one that we're talking about, was what the pick over from you as a developer, or case as learning facilitator, is psychopath. Really gets off, who's irritated by complexity. Thought was, think who's coming behind, and so that they'll be able to pick it up and move things on quite nicely as well, because obviously you don't want to just build it once and then forget about it. So things that we were always taught, and of course you always have too much fun building something, but that always then translate to the learner having tons and tons of fun whilst doing it.
Under there, Chaz, Mark's comment, if you cannot explain it simply, then you don't understand it, is absolutely correct.
Definitely. Like I say, keep it simple, stupid. It's a acronym. It's simple in itself. And I have so many people that just go way past that. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you've got to keep in mind when you use a technological platform to deliver a facilitation. Bullet. Medium or actually not message versus the outcome. So we're close to Christmas at the moment. I'd like you to just imagine is Christmas in your house. Or house there's young kids about, maybe 2 or 3. And there's all sorts of huge presents under the tree, one for these kids. The kids turn the paper, open the boxes, look toy, and then thinking, you know what? That toy, Alex.
Oh,
so all the kids that are playing with boxes run the toy. So not actually looking at the toy itself, which is what you want them to look at. They're looking at what it's coming. And is careful, you'll get people playing with the box rather than actually concentrating on what it is that trying to, in this case. Yeah, I heard that analogy the other day and I thought, oh yes, that's so fortuitous. And it is, when you think about it, one of those, yeah, there's the box. I want the box. I don't see it. This is something I think that a lot of people minded when they're trying to build a train or a training they really concentrate on the and come up with that is you can fail because people are just going to get stuck with playing with box. I thought you do, yeah. Okay, so if I could please have the next bullet, Pat. Thank you. Form, not function. What we're talking about here really is the function might not necessarily be what we're after. It's the form. So the form will take the of the function, and the function here is that experience that we're facilitating has got to be appropriate to agents that we're delivering it to, and B, it's got to be appropriate to what we've got that we're using in terms of technology. Very, try and whiz things up. I built a database in 2000 using Microsoft Access, and it was fantastic. It had everything. Wonderful. Use it.
Huh, that one?
Nobody could use it because I'd sort of fallen full of my own acronym and just gone for all the bells and whistles, and it looked fantastic. You could click on buttons here and it would take you over there. Oh, it was brilliant, if I say so myself. But people couldn't. It was complex. And obviously, when I left and somebody came in and took over from me, it was binned. Very much
alone there, Chaz. I've worked in companies in the past where they've brought in specialists to build a database that's supposed to be all singing, all dancing. Who've spoken to the end users, going to actually use this system day in, day out. And by the time they look at, well, it doesn't work. So again, how but how are people going to be able to use this? Is it simple?
Absolutely. It's one of those things where you'll get an analyst, like a systems analyst, who'll go in and he'll like us, you'll figure out all of the various different flows for the data, what needs to go, who needs to know what, etc., etc. And then you'll do it. But like you say, you're not actually talking to the end users, so you're not getting what they need from it.
No.
So,
that's only happened once where I was asked to be the end consulted with, and by the time we finished it, everyone loved it. Because I was on the basis that, if I don't understand it, if I can't make it do what I need it to do, no one else will.
That's true. And the idea, I think, is if you're going to talk to people, put it down on a data.
To put it use of it.
Yeah, it's that kind of that function. You've Charlie the cat. Well, this is Lady the cat, and Lady says, "We're doing a job." So if I could have the next bullet, please, Pat.
All right.
Thank you very much. So, how often have you, and I know I have, on numerous occasions, gone into an online or web-based learning platform, find that what you thinking was going to be e-learning is just either an online manual or PDF or something like that. They do is just read through it.
Absolutely.
Who in minds wants to just sit in front of a computer screen? Something that, let's be honest, most textbooks are really, really dry. And a textbook from start to finish, inside an hour, you're a person than me. I don't have that focus. But again, I know a lot of learning facilitators will put something on as e-learning, when actually all they're doing is putting on online tools. Well, there's a part of learning function, but not on its own. No, definitely not.
As a reference point, but unless you actually sort of get dirty and sort of actually use the system, then it's all fine having the manual, but then it doesn't actually sort of align with the practical sense of things. It doesn't make sense at all, I don't think, Chaz.
Absolutely right, Karen. And to answer you, Mark, it's Chaz's cat. I thought he put it outside, but she's obviously sneaked back in again.
No, I put one of them outside. It's the other one that's got back in.
Oh, the quieter voice one. It's a louder one that went out.
Yes.
She wants to get in on the act. She wants to learn.
Definitely. bring on our next point, becoming techno-dazzled. Now, this comes in two different ways. If you're a facilitator, you can, as I said, get involved too much in making the most of the tool that you're using, putting in all the bells and whistles in, and absolutely dreadful. Things don't work, books don't work the way they should do, data's there, all sorts of different things. But on the end of that, you can perhaps be faced with a product that you just use. It's just too common. I don't know if you've ever come across a software product where you're thinking, I want to just do something simple. For if you think about PowerPoint, something simple on it, it's actually really, really, really good. You try and do something that's really complex, it can also be really good if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you do something whereby, for I know, Pat, that we're looking at when we're building this, we weren't sure whether our web hosting would actually take the we're going to put in PowerPoint.
No, right.
So, our part, but at the same time, obviously it's worked out for us, so we've been quite successful there. But
that's a backup plan.
Yeah. Things can get too technological, and you've also got to think about audience. Is it a Gen X, Gen Y, or a Millennium generation? Do they want that same sort of language? Do they want those same sort of platforms that you're offering? Actually, they're learning a more pleasurable experience. Finally, and this will lead us into our next section, each classroom equals blended.
Does it?
Absolutely not. You think that people think e-learning is, people think e-learning is online maths, then you will just give somebody a paper manual to half an hour in front of a microslide, and then think, yep, that's it. Job done. They know exactly what they need to know. My job is done. There's a whole lot more to blended learning, and the next slide, which I'm sure Pat will talk in more depth about, actually gives a bit better idea of exactly what blended learning consists of. So what we're looking at in the WYSI technology stuff is we've got simple from playing with the boxes instead of the toys to do what it says it's going to do. E-learning has got to be e-learning proper, not just online manuals. Forward for our facilitators to become dazzled and just think, oh, wow, this is great. And at the time we can't afford for learners to become dazzled by the fact that it's just too complex to deal with. And then we talked about e-learning classroom learning does not equal blended.
Thank you, Chaz. And in fact, Mark has just added in his piece here. Just witnessed a training session where the trainer delivered a piece watched over the rest of the day while everyone else did 7 e-learning modules. That's not trained facilitating. That's not it. And just for interest, Mark, what was in the room? How did people feel? The energy was very low and then go up. Yeah, it was. We're soft. We're human beings. We like our senses able to. Very much. through this process lately, I'm putting together a course that I'm going to, well, a program to running. It involves videos, audio. It was a certain amount of webinars with slides, etc. But at the same time, we'll also incorporate the human element, where people speak Skype or the phone, and we can individualize their needs. And to know more about blended learning, there's probably a lot more I could do as well, but I'm still in the early stage of putting it together. And those will be put when I'm ready. So, which is absolutely the best way to learn. It can be many different elements. You can lead instruction, yes. Because I'm in charge. I'm in charge of clicking the buttons for just today. There are face-to-face interactive sessions. It's not about a teacher or a trainer standing in class and sharing information at people. It needs to be multifaceted. Presentation workshop in design. He has one slide with one picture, which has links to numerous videos, etc. around it. Absolutely. So you have teacher-led, the face-to-face interactive sessions where the learner can ask questions, and we want answers. You've got web-based assessments, which can also include things like feedback, reflective exercises that learners can do. They're always very useful. I use those. Mediated instructors with your digital, your visual, absolutely marked SurveyMonkey, which is free, Excel. I'm putting together my first survey as well, so I haven't yet. And you get materials, your manuals, the traditional study material, and sometimes, now I'm like this, I can do online, as me as a learner, it's online and you type. But for me, a bit of a traditionalist in that I like to print that off. Armchair with a cup of tea, and the way I do it. It's truly painful, so I'm afraid, when I'm learning, because that's the way I like to learn, and I like to have that available that I'm working with. For me, it's good enough for them. And learning facilitation that we undertake the student-centered, not centered. We haven't got a vision yet, have we? Student-centered, and we've got to be able to cater for all senses. I will. And in a nutshell, for me, it's blended learning, is where we cater for every taste, every liking. Also, I had a thought while Chaz was talking about the WYSI technology. And again, it was to me, but because it's personal to me, it taught me a lesson for the future. I was in a presentation, I was sitting and listening to it, and it started flashing. It was designed to flash. They had all these images flash. Extremely sensitive. I'm the glasses in the middle of winter if there's even a touch sun or glare out there. It looks like I'm crying and it physically hurts. Migraines because of it. Wrong, I'm out. Physical process. Because actually I turned around to the instructor and I said, do you know if anyone's got epilepsy? You want to be responsible for a room with an epileptic and you're doing that. He said, it can migraines, it can trigger epilepsy. I put a hat on Like, it is other things that we have to be of when we're something like this. Or in presentations, we just got text into something like point to fit it on the slide, and you still can't read it. So we were putting together a brand new website, because it was a huge stakeholder website, and I was a noggy person, and I pointed out, I said, right, is that actually impaired people? I said, one daughter, because she can't read it, it's not suitable, because severely visually impaired. Font, it, thought in planning, we can open to far more people their routes. Makes sense. Does anyone have any questions on that?
It makes actually that, and I think it is also about the sort of, as you said, that level of awareness that people, in different ways. Some people like to punch it off, some people are okay on the screen, but in order being aware, if you do have anybody that is sensitive or does suffer from epilepsy, it would be absolutely horrible to be in that situation where that's something that you cause through a call just to manifestation. So yeah, absolutely down where you're coming from.
To be quite honest, vision, people suffering from visual impairments, radar until I had, I was born that way. So it's only through experience I've become more aware. And I think I'm becoming more aware of other things at the moment, because I do a lot of work now in the community. And equity and diversity course, again, opened my eyes up to, oh my goodness, there's all these other things that I hadn't even thought of. And to be able to train learning facilitator out there, we're not taught these things, we find out the hard way. I use it now to help everyone around me now, because it's getting more litigious, it's getting more like America. Imagine you're paid to come to a course with you, and your PowerPoint triggers an attack or something. Who's not going to take action against you? What, you caused that. You should have considered this before you put it together. So, I'm not scared, but it's just more aware of there's wrong too many contrasts, and take picture as best as you can. And back to is like that, keeping it simple. Maybe one slide with a great can actually then a slide with 100 on it. We should text just as a sort of aid memoir, if you like. So learning for today, we will cover that, as I say, in detail on a few webinars. Let's go on to lesson number 5, message before medium. And I just don't know about you. I just find a boss on a beach with a message on it one day. I filled with curiosity. Who sent this? What's the message? Someone needs help. Is there something I can do? Sorry, it was to the child in me. I do it. But again, it's an analogy, if you like. There was a story I read from somebody actually found a message in the bottle, and it's quite recently. But refilling it, fill it. It looked like an ancient one, you know. God, sorry. We'll open it. Here's you've got in that bottle. Open it or open it. The light within the bottle, as far as you know. Yes. Read the message. To Chaz, I'm sure he will come in and expand on this for me. This with what we're going to use to get the message out there, that the message lost. This is on the activities you're going to do or the exercise. But the bottom line is you learners to go with what you want them to achieve. And Chaz,
practice of what you're trying to facilitate. If to yourself, oh wow, and I'm bloke toys. To get myself a nice new little toy, it's like, yeah, let me play with this. The tendency there is then to try and just put everything onto this new toy so that it looks fantastic. But as if you play too much with the toys, then you don't necessarily get what you want from them. So it's definitely a case of keeping it simple. Again, it just goes back to that old adage: keep it simple, and just make sure that everybody can understand what it is you're trying to get across.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Mark, in response to your comments here, but no fancy text. Sorry, Chaz. With you, I have great sessions delivered, as you do. Just your flip chart. Although the one I'm a little bit more curious about. I'm just how to let me yes to go for the big presentations. Flips. I do that every Monday at the dog club. So I really put together slides, the exercises which I give them, end up using a flip chart. So we don't have to go high tech. Like his office does. I remember years ago, on the day with my director of planning, and he used to do some fantastic presentations. I was middleware to do this workshop, and it was on the laptop. I had it on a pen drive. Everything was there. Come the time. In fact, there was an electrical problem in it. Just say it was in the middle of nowhere. It's like a village hall somewhere. I had it, I was trying to say it's just not working. I'm really sorry. I said, without your slide, he went, yeah. So I put the flip charts and some pens and everything. He gave his presentation. And when we finished all the questions and answers and then we broke for coffee, he said, okay, and do you know something, Mike? Presentation I've ever seen you do. He said, yeah. Because I said, I know you got out every point that I was on those slides. You did, because you expanded on them. You taught me a lesson. I shouldn't always depend on those. I can just get up and do it. I suggest you can. And it is almost brainwashed into thinking that we have to have these paths, etc. Mark has come back with my Lego query. So doing lean manufacturing, difference between batch and queue and single piece. All right, okay. Oh, indeed. I know. And I'm looking forward to that. I shall be buying some Legos with my grandson, first grandson. So, play with it. Yeah, Lego means let's play, and literally do it, absolutely. And we learn so much through play. Learn through play. We helps. And in fact, it doesn't do us any harm. In fact, it does a lot of good to go back into play mode. So are you trying to speak there? You're coming through Fanny or...
No, me.
Okay. And again, Mark has just given a brilliant example here of using Lego. His message across to the of to use it in visual thinking and design work and everything else. I've seen it so many times. I've done weird and wonderful things on courses I've been on. But people are really into it. From head of department to frontline customer service, everyone gets involved. And it's particularly and they're all different levels within an organisation. It's so because it is ever. The frontline customer service staff might be better at it than it's a department. That's no good. But it's all about having a huge variety of different activities. Any so far? Any observations? Anyone? Did anyone read the purple paper that Chaz produced on learning and technology? One of the papers. Right, and did it resonate with the information? It was. The papers are really good. In that case, Mark, you will be pleased to know that the next purple papers should be out. And again, the one's coming out, and I'm looking forward to reading the ones with Tim as well. I'm this week as well. So please do leave some feedback on the webinar at #Fusion We will be back next Friday, the 29th, at the same time of 2:30. That's covering Pearl number 6, which is L&D is everyone's responsibility. You'll be the answers to that. Brilliant to that. For Pearl 6, L&D everyone's responsibility, we will be covering 7, which is L&D Now, as L&D, the response, but a little bit back into Sin 5 of no practice, covering Sin, a bit of Sin, and a stick pearl. And stick back with brilliant. And you can contact us. Oh, brilliant. But I have to something out of these webinars. Are you? Are you interested? Oh, thank you, Chaz. Excellent. You're also spreading across to your team at work, so we are a little bit further afield. Sorry, that's facilitating feedback. Okay. Feedback. Preferably times, but I'm open to learn. So, is there anything you'd like me to differently, to do more of, to do less of? Please let us know. That's how and grow. Analogy there, ripples across the water. And come to the end of this webinar for this week. Only for me to wish you a great week, and I look forward to speaking with you all again next Friday. So, Tim and Chaz, thank you so much for this one.
You're very
I practice what I preach, that this is not my expert field. Thank you. You're welcome.
fun. Thank you.